Better to be a thief than sheep? Welcome back to In the Know. I am Tisha Pitts.
And I am Tony Pitts.
And we are back with another pressing question. I know you guys read the title. Like, what does that mean? Better to be a thief than sheep? What does that mean, Tony?
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Better to be a thief than sheep. What that means is you don't really want to be sheep in business. And what I mean by that is you don't want to be so much of a follower, right? You don't necessarily want to follow the trend. You know, I remember, not too long ago, and even now, everyone's kind of jumped on the whole crypto bandwagon, right? Oh, crypto this, crypto that, blockchain, blah, blah, blah. Part of that was, the metaverse. Oh, the metaverse is going to be the next world, and and so there's been trends, and you really don't want to jump into a business just because it's the hot thing right now. That's not really the purpose or the mindset you should go into when you want to become an entrepreneur. You don't really want to go about it just chasing money, the next thing. You never master anything. You don't really add any real value to the world. You really want to start your business because there's a problem and you have a solution to solve it, whether it's a service or a product. That's business fundamentals. Solving problems, not chasing the bag because it's the hot thing right now. A lot of times it's a setup. So you go running out to the next hot crypto and they do what's called a rug pull. Everyone dives into it because it's hype, because this celebrity's talking about it, or, you think this article is giving you some sort of insight. You took a L because you really didn't go into it with the right business premise in the first place. They didn't find a problem and come up with a solution. And that's really the fundamentals of why you should get into any business. So you don't want to be sheep. Now, the thief part of it is, if you're in a certain business or industry, what you want to do is borrow, okay? You can borrow from other industries to create something new in your own, right? So let's talk about, a lot of people want to be chefs or they want to have a restaurant, right? Everyone's kind of doing, I have soul food place, or I make fried chicken, or I make mac and cheese and greens, right? Well, you might be the best, but everybody thinks they're the best, or
it's nothing new.
It's nothing really new under the sun, right? Maybe the way that you find a way to stick out from the crowd and become a black sheep versus just the following sheep, maybe you create a fusion, right? Chinese and soul food, Vietnamese and soup, or just fusing different kinds of industries together so you can borrow from other industries. Even in the music business, let's look at Puffy, right? P. Diddy, Puffy Combs, or whatever. But one of the things he did in the 80s was he took 80s soft rock, fused it with hip hop and created a new sound. Look at Dr. Dre. He took soul music, that the 70s soul, and he fused it with hip hop and created the West Coast kind of sound. So they fused, different industries together. So they borrowed from other sounds and, brought it into today. You can use that with, different strategies, different industries, and different things that you want to do. So here's a perfect example, right? You had the taxi business, right?
Yeah.
But then Uber came out,
yeah,
right?
Made it better, right? It's the shared economy. But then there are all sorts of spinoffs that was like, this is Uber for food, or this is Uber for your packages, or this is Uber for so on and so forth. A lot of extraordinary successful entrepreneurs found other ways to bring attributes or benefits from other industries and fuse it into the one that they wanted to go into to create something very new and dynamic that is able to stand, on its own. Right.
Don't be sheep necessarily and just hop on the next trend. You're just following the crowd, and it's really the outliers that create something new and innovative, or you just kind of going into this pool where
everyone's just following the same thing, doing the same thing. So I just challenge you to, not be so sheepish and just following the herd, and find a way to step out of that herd and to create something unique and individualized from yourself based on a need,
Even your own needs, right? Even your own needs. I know we've been around talking in the house or what have you, and I hear you talk about finding a problem. You probably have your own problems, Maybe this doesn't work as well as you would like it to work. Like, a perfect example is umbrellas, all of them. When you pull it up and for the rain, it's wet and you're covering it. But as soon as you pull it, liquids everywhere, right? Water everywhere. You're trying to put it in the car. It's wetting up your seat. It's crazy when it's wet. And then this company or a person, I'm not sure who the innovator was, but they decided to make the umbrellas close the opposite direction. The water is inside of the umbrella versus on the outside.
Right.
Y'all remember that product, right? He made a killing, because probably he was outside running to the car, or he or she was outside running to the car, did the umbrella thing. It was like, oh my God, this umbrella is getting on my nerves. What if and came up with this idea. Now I have no idea. But I say all that to say that you can create business outside of what, you may be, mentality and kind of developing something from something that's a need.
Something
your own need.
Fusion,
right?
Borrow from another industry. One of the, I've been reading this book lately, and he encourages you to really just look at another industry that has nothing to do with anything that you're even remotely interested in. And just look at the way that they either procure business or engage with customers or how they promote their business. And you may learn something that was never applied to what you do that could help you grow exponential. It's just having that open mind, be the black sheep and, not follow the herd. Don't make the rush because everyone's going in this direction, all the time. But be your own person and think outside the box, and don't be afraid to borrow from other industries. But, it's better to steal from other industries than to just follow the herd wherever they go.
Hey everybody, click the link below, get a free ebook. What's it called?
How to Start a Business.
And what else?
How to start a business.
What every school should be teaching.
We out here trying to help the people. Free ebook.
Free ebook.
Like, subscribe, tell a friend, share.
You got it.
All right, that question makes a little bit more sense. I have another question that someone asks, since we're on this path. They wrote in, every time there is a new business, fad, or trend, I see people making money like crazy. Example, crypto, drop shipping. I remember drop shipping hit. But when I try it, it doesn't seem to work out. Any advice you can give me?
Well, that's probably in any business, but I do understand. To me, it just goes back to the fundamental, meaning you really have to bring it to the fundamentals and the core of problem, solution, not so much about watching somebody on Instagram or TikTok and saying, well, they're making a lot of money doing that. I want to do exactly what they're doing, because that person is really setting things up to get people like you to pay them for, you just become a pawn in their business
plan.
Right. And if that's your motivation,
right,
you just there's no money. That's never going to work, because everything makes money, right? Your lawn makes money because somebody has to cut it. Your walls is, everything makes money. So you can't just go with where you think the money is, because if that's the case, you'll be all over the place. You'll have no focus. You'll have no why. You'll have no goal. There's nothing really waking you up in the morning because you're solving a real world problem or helping someone or providing a service or product. I think that's when you have to say, what's the problem? How do I solve it? And then be dedicated to that craft.
Right. I guess something
not be sold by every flashing little bulb that's kind of going on. But if it's something that's near and dear to your heart, then yeah, make it your own. but just don't be so swayed by the next trend. And, you know, I'm not saying that you should ignore every little trend that comes along, right? People did make money on Bitcoin, right? But people did lose a lot of money on Doge, right? I don't think that should just be your goal, just chasing bags, because you'll be all over the place. You know, I think that if you really find a problem, provide a solution, that's your way to the real bag. You're solving a real world problem. People will reward you for that. They will patronize it. They will pay for that solution, you know, if it's a good one. And if you have a solution, it's also something that you can, you know, you learn from, iterate and make it better and better and better. But if you're just kind of chasing what everybody else is doing, you're not standing for anything. Because guess what? As soon as something else come along, you're chasing that. And if someone tells you, well, this is better, and you're chasing that, you're just all over the place. So, you know, you really want to be grounded in something solid that's more important to you than the bag that could come from.
So when somebody asks you, why are you a realtor, or why are you a landscaper, or why do you go to work every day, the answer shouldn't be first
Money. How do they make money? Everybody
try to make money.
You're not going to be, you know, you're not going to be good at everything. You're not going to be naturally a fit for everything just because it's making money. You really got to be as true and authentic to yourself as possible.
And if yourself is just about the bag, accept that about you.
So the Bible,
and understand what that path and where that taking.
Somewhere in the Bible it says, you know, find the gift that God gave you, and that gift will make a path for you. And I think, you know, we need to be rooted in that, finding what you do best, what you do great. It's cutting hair. You know, I think I hear Steve Harvey be the best hair cutter. If you sweet, be the best at that. And you know, but if you're sweet, you know, then, you know, find ways to sweep better, or new innovations, or technology, or AI, or the best broom, or whatever it is. But it should really be more about providing value and you using your gift to its highest potential, and not just hopping from the next bag to the next bag to the next bag.
Right. I think it's very true that if you give your gifts to the world will gift you back.
Yeah, and I think if you spend your time and your energy and your focus and your wherewithal and your study and your practice and your disciplines, and solving problems and helping make the world a better place, I think the time is served a lot better than just jumping to the next financial.
Very good.
It's my 2 cents.
Well, sounds like be a thief.
I mean, you know, borrow.
Steal.
Borrow.
Okay. Borrow is not copying. It's not making you you know, less than or copycat. You know, you are borrowing an idea to make better, or to
There's a lot of good ideas.
Find a niche within it, or what have you. That's what I'm gathering.
Sometimes the benefits is not necessarily in the industry that you're in. It could be this one over here, and you can introduce it to what you're doing and make your product and your service better.
Sounds wonderful. As I didn't know where we were going. Clueless. Oh, and I'm sorry, guys, if you have any questions or comments on this topic or have anything to add, please feel free to leave it at the bottom.
Any ideas that you want me to talk about or anything like that?
Yes, we appreciate your input.
Let me know.
All right, now you know.
And remember, your number one investment should always be you. Subscribe.
All right, Mr. Pitts. See you next.
Thank you.